Fishtails is a live storytelling event hosted by the Gloucester Writers Center. I am talking to Laila Goodman, who is actually the storyteller in residence for the year, and she's going to tell us about the most recent performance and how we can all experience it. Hi, Laila.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So yeah, Casey Breton was the former storyteller in residence, and she asked me if I would be this year's. And when she asked me, I was like, I just have to say yes because I want to put storyteller in residence on my resume. I'm a biology teacher. I'm a doula. I just storyteller in residence just never seemed possible. But Gloucester Fishtails was started about 9 years ago with the vision and idea of Maureen Aylward. And the early years, I believe it was over at the site on Rocky Neck, the Writers Center was there. And it was always live. And I actually did tell one story there many years ago on birth. And then it migrated over to the Gloucester Stage Company, where it's been held live, I think 4 to 6 times a year, something like every other month. And then, of course, with the pandemic, we've been recording it live and then streaming it. So when I got asked to be on, before I became officially storyteller in residence, I had to do a story, and this was for the episode on Turning Point. And I called a friend of mine, Alex Berger. He's a former student of mine from the Waring School, and he's a TV writer and a playwright. And Alex really gave me this incredible process to develop my story. And it was kind of like turbo therapy. It was such a deep dive into being embodied in my story and really thinking about the turns in my story. It was for Turning Point, but there should be turns in any good story. And it was an incredible experience. And that was my first film story. I didn't feel great about my performance. I felt okay. It's really weird to practice telling a story and then stand in front of a camera and tell a story. You don't have the audience breathing. So then I officially became storyteller in residence, and Alex very generously offered to do a workshop for the next 3 stories, the 3 events of Fishtails, for all the storytellers. So we did that for the last one that we did, and then this was the second one on joy. And Alex led a 2-hour Zoom lesson for all the storytellers, and it's just wonderful. And so it's not just working on my own story, but helping other people work on their story using Alex's many years as playwright and story writer and TV writer. So I feel like the program comes together, and I'm not just shaping my story, but I'm shaping the whole program.
Beautiful. So this is really the evolution of Fishtails, because it was this live event. It was a little bit kind of like the Moth, kind of like people cheering like really loudly. And now you have a coach, a storytelling coach, and it's this very, it sounds like very curated, streamed event, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say very curated, but because it's filmed, yes. And because it's not, I would argue that bringing Alex in is, the Moth also does this. When people are able to do the Moth story, they get coached quite a bit, even for those live stories. I do think filming requires people to be more practiced, because it's just weird to get up and tell your story. But I would, even if we were going to be, we're potentially discussing being live in August, and I still would have Alex do the workshop. I watched many of the Fishtails, and I always loved some stories. And I mean, I like all the stories, and I listen to the Moth, and I love all the stories. And sometimes I feel like, wow, that story could have been a little tighter or ended. I don't want to over prescribe, but storytelling is an art, and being able to really work on the art with a structure, I think, makes for better stories.
Great. So the subject of this episode, this performance, is joy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to give us just any sort of hints as to like what we should be?
Well, yeah, I was very curious because I tell a story about going camping by myself, but also about meeting my husband. And so I was like, oh, is everybody going to just do a romance story? Well, it turns out of 7 storytellers, there's 2 romance stories. There are several stories about parents and siblings. Um, there is, um, it just was amazing the range of stories. I would say one commonality in all the stories, some about mental health, finding ourselves, all of them talk about suffering, right? The joy comes at the end. And of course, that's true. You know, when you think about joy, it's what you come out of. And that was one thing I was thinking about. That word joy starts with a J, like what hooks us to the joy is the suffering, and then we come out, and it ends with a Y, which has like a tail, and that joy like goes on. And I'm sorry that for all the listeners out there, but that is also my intro at the short story.
That's a great intro. So how can people experience Fishtails? This
So
joy
if you go to Gloucester Stage Company's website, you can find very quickly the link to the episode Fishtails for Joy. You purchase a ticket, it's $9, and you pick a day, but honestly, it doesn't matter. They will send you the link, and then you can stream it anytime in this 2-week period. And for $9, it's 45 minutes of great entertainment.
Well, Laila, thank you so much. I can't wait to listen to your story and the other 6. And so I'll go there right now.
Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you for helping to promote this really great opportunity to let the people's voices sing. So.
Thank you.